Friends, we are very happy to inform you that e-modules are prepared for B.Ed program at Telangana by the School of Education, Osmania University under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme MHRD New Delhi. It's indeed our pleasure to share with the teacher educators and the prospective teachers and get maximum benefit out of it. It's a first of its attempt by us. We continue to add many more such lessons to share with you all.
Good morning to everyone. I am V. Sheetal, working as a trained graduate teacher in Telangana State Model School, Palmakula, Samshabad. Today, I am going to share my views about the social science kits as a valuable resource for teaching the subject. I would like to start my session with a beautiful quote given by a famous English poet, W.B. Yeats. According to him, education is not filling the pail but the lighting of a fire. That means we cannot dump all the knowledge in the heads of the child, but the knowledge which is imparted by the teacher in the classroom has to be reflected in the child's day-to-day life. In today's competitive world, where all the professions are becoming challenging, the teaching profession is also one of them. The teachers in the present times has to be updated, innovative, creative, tech-friendly, smart. In short, we have to be up to the expectation of our students, as our students are having a wide exposure to the various knowledge resources. Various knowledge resources in sense, a small pocket encyclopedia kind of a thing all the time a child is carrying. And it is the one which we all know, that is none other than a mobile phone. As you all know, the child is having all-time access to the mobile phone, so he will be browsing so many things, so he will be gathering the knowledge. At the same time, we have a TV. In the TV also, we are getting so much information, and that information is accessed maybe positively or negatively by the child. So we as a teacher have to be one step ahead, so we need to update ourselves. This reminds me of the golden words given by our beloved missile man and the President of India, Sri Abdul Kalam ji. According to him, teaching is a mobile profession that shapes the character, caliber and future of an individual. If the people remember us as a good teacher, that is the biggest honor for us as a teacher. Coming to the social science subject, it is an important part of school curriculum as it includes human relationship with society and a person's role as an individual. It gives the knowledge of environment, dedication to values and principles of society, and how can a person be a part of its maintenance and improvement. So to make our subject interesting, we require number of learning resources. For us, as a teacher of social science, we have innumerable learning resources existing and functioning in physical and in our social cultured environment, which can be a great source of inspiration, information, knowledge and experience that can be utilized for education and welfare of students. These resources collected from the students and the surroundings will become a part of our social science kits. In today's session, I will be dealing with the usage of social science kits and its effect on the students. The social science kit is one of the most important teaching aid for the teachers, as it makes the teaching effective and gives wonderful experience to the students, as it helps the students to remember the concept lifelong and which can be cherished by them forever. So the objectives of today's session is to know the requirement of the resources for teaching the social issues, introduction of the social science kits, types of social science kit, content of the kit, what are the advantages of the social science kit, and how can the kit be enriched by adding the resources to it. Let me start with the introduction of the social science kit. You must have heard about a doctor kit, a makeup kit, dolls kit, etc. But you must be wondering, what is social science kit? I, as a teacher of social science, will tell you the importance of the kit and the ways to maintain it, making it a valuable resource for the students' better understanding and I will also tell you how it helps us, and I will also tell you how it helps us to reach the goal of our expected learning outcomes at the end of each class, making our jobs easier and rewarding. This idea of social science kit is not anyone's personal idea, as no person can understand and define the importance of social science except NCSS. Yes, NCSS is an acronym of National Council for the Social Studies, which was founded in the year 1924, which engages and supports education in strong themes and advocating social studies. It serves as an umbrella organization for elementary, secondary and college teachers of history, political science, geography, economics, sociology, psychology, anthropology and law related education, with a vision in which all students are educated and inspired for lifelong inquiry and informed civic action, and its mission is to advocate and build capacity for high quality social studies by providing leadership services and support to education. Realizing the importance of social science teaching, UNICEF offered the assistance to Government of India and UNESCO granted aids through NCERT, Government of India, to develop new curriculum at primary and middle classes and devised social kits to maintain the curriculum. Social science kits contain simple, inexpensive, improvised apparatus which are stored in a small handy box made of wood or iron with shelves and drawers. This box is called social kit. It can serve the function of a small movable mini laboratory. These kits are very useful in village schools where there is no facilities for room and laboratory. These kits are quite cheap and can be easily operated, as the items in the kit are handy and steady. So there is no fear of the items getting broken easily. Social science kits are of two types: demonstration kits and pupil kits. Demonstration kits contains the items like chart, dramatics, graphs, maps, small models, phonographs, records, inscriptions, posters, cartoons, clippings, pictures, radio, small tape record, various types of bills, tickets, soap covers, etc. that are required by the social science teachers to conduct various students' experiment. Pupils kit contain the items that is enough to serve 40 to 50 students depending upon our class size, and it will allow each student to participate and view the exhibits that is available in the social science kit. Here I will be explaining you about some of the items which we need to have in our social science kit. First we will begin with the charts. Charts are an important source of teaching as it can be prepared with hand and with the less cost, providing the huge amount of data in a single piece of sheet. Charts are of different size depending upon the matter to be displayed on it. Here I will be giving you a small definition of a chart. A chart is a group of related facts presented in the form of a diagram, table, graph or other visually organized model. Let us learn some characteristics of charts. The chart has to be clear, easy to understand and easy to find. It should display the content that is current instance of the present times and supports the complex skills. It should have a clear purpose. That means only the relevant information has to be put up on the chart with the bold letters which is easily readable by the students. It should include steps for how to do the specific strategies or procedure. A kind of a flow chart or a procedure to be followed has to be mentioned using a certain pictures or the table, then only it will be helpful for the child to refer it in the future for the revision purpose. It should have visuals including symbols, pictures or photos to go with words. Now let us learn about the usefulness of charts. These charts will help the students to refer whenever possible, as it will be pasted in the classroom. It will be a kind of a revision for the child. As a teacher, it is not possible for us. Sometimes there will be a time constraints and it is not possible for us to revise the whole textbook at the end of the year when the child is supposed to write the examination. Well, in this case, the charts will become a valuable tool for you. By showing the chart, the child will easily remember the lesson that we have taught, and they will easily revise the whole text with the help of this chart. It can be a source of a quick reference not only during the examination, whenever the child gets a doubt, when the child is doing a self preparation for the examination, and if they look at the chart, they will easily understand the concept of that particular point, and they will try to relate it with the class that was taught by the teacher in the previous classes. It helps the teacher to make the classroom teaching more effective. Imagine the way we stand in the class and keep on giving the lectures, and imagine if you show an aid to the students. Immediately whenever you show the picture to the child will easily capture it, and it will help the child to revise it and to present it during the examination as well. The chart showing flow charts and the timeline charts help the student to remember the concepts forever. Sometimes a lengthy paragraphs related to a topic will be given. I can give you an example of the national freedom movement. In the national freedom movement, there were a lot of movements that has taken place over the years. If you put it in a timeline chart, giving the year and the description of a one-liner, and you put it up in the chart and you paste it in the classroom, it will help the child to remember each and every moment, and then the child can present it on their own in their examination papers. So these are some of the usage of the charts. Now let us learn about the types of the chart. There are different types of a chart showing different kind of a matter. Let us first start with the chart showing a stone age. The chart showing different stone age helps the child to understand the importance of the stone, how was the life before its discovery, and how is the life in the present time after the discovery of the various metals and tools. There will be one chart which will be showing the life of an early man. It will help the students to understand the evolution of man from the early man to the man in the present times, that is, we can call it as a modern man. The changes that have taken place with the circumstances and the time, how was the human beings before, what are the requirements, what are the ways of their leading of life, and how it is in the present times, how the criteria of our requirements are changed with the times. Everything can be easily understood by the child if you show them the chart of the life of the early man. Then we need to have a chart showing the different currencies of different country, evolution of money from the barter system. In the olden days, when before the evolution of money, there was a barter system. Barter system is a system of exchanging of the goods. What are the advantages of the barter system? What are the disadvantages of the barter system? These all are some of the concepts which are very abstract for the child to understand. By explaining all these concepts, and when you start showing them the chart, how the money was evolved, how the different currencies have come, what were the different metals that were used for making of the money, and how it has come to this paper currency and the plastic currency as well, then the child will easily understand the concept of the money without much difficulty, and it will also help them to remember the concept lifelong. So as a social studies teacher, I feel that we need to compulsory have a chart showing the different currencies in our social science kit. Similarly, we can keep different types of charts like growth of the villages, how was the village before, how is the village now. We can show them about the different landforms and the changes that are taking around in the different types of a landforms, the life of the people living in the different types of a landform, the agriculture, the climate, etc. can be shown easily with the help of the charts. We can also keep the chart of a polar region. As you know, polar region is entirely different from the region wherein we are living. So if you show the charts and the animals and the kind of a lifestyle they have, it will be easily understood by the child. Then we need to have a chart showing the banks, banks doing the various activities, what is the procedure to be followed. If you need to start an account, what are the different types of account, what are the different type of an digital transactions, etc. can be shown with the help of this chart. Coming to the benefits of the chart, we should know that the charts are an excellent tool that can help the students to become independent thinkers and problem solvers. Although the standards are complex, charts don't have to be perfect. They are most successful when they are created by or with the students and modified or altered as students' understanding of the concept changes. It is not necessary that the chart which was used last year, which was prepared last year, will cater the needs of the students in the present times. As the thinking level of the child is changed, definitely the chart has to be changed in the class as well. Coming to the next item of our social studies kit, it is a drama. Drama is the most significant and activity based learning. The students feel more involved into the individual or the social problems if they perform it. It makes the child explore the problems around them. It gives the child the knowledge about the problems prevailing, its reasons. They try to find out the ways for solving it and its effect on the society and future generations. It helps the teacher to teach some complex topics in an easy manner like barter system, freedom movements, casteism, gender equality, traffic rules, women empowerment, etc. It is an area of curriculum which is made on the dreams and voices of the students. It provides opportunities for the students to work cooperatively. It helps children to express more effectively in their daily life situations. Now let us know about the benefits of drama. It will help the student to discover that they know more than they thought they knew. Sometimes if you give the ideas to the child, we think that the child is not having a proper knowledge about the concept catered to them or delivered to them. But when the child starts exploring on its own, he will come out with the new ideas, or maybe he must have come across that kind of an incident. So here we say that the child will be able to discover that they know more than they thought they knew. It will help the child to understand the life in the real world than the imagined one. Usually, the small children will be having their own imaginary kind of a world which they are usually viewing either on the social medias or on the TV. They think that the life is very beautiful outside, whereas it is not like that as a real life situation. The real life situations will be entirely different from the world which is imagined by the child. So as a teacher, it is our duty to make the child understand how the world outside is and how they have to survive in that kind of a world. It gives an opportunity to the students to examine their problems from a new perspective. Usually the child will have an idea depending upon the background they are coming. Sometimes they think there are the problems which are prevailing in the society for which they don't have a solution. So we as a teacher, we have to develop a positive attitude among the students, telling that there is a solution for all the problems and that they need to see the problem from a new perspective. They have to look at the door which is open for them, and they need to find out the solutions to sort out their problems. Going to the next benefit of the drama, it allows the students to go beyond the tight framework of the curriculum. Usually, we go to the class, we open the textbook, we explain the lesson, etc. So that is a kind of a thing which is going as a one-way traffic. All the time the teacher is explaining the problem from her point of view. Maybe the child will be taking it from another point of view. So if we follow this dramatic method, the child will come out with their own perspective. The child will try to deliver whatever the thoughts are there which is in their mind, and they will even give the solution from a different way which we are not aware about. So we need to give this opportunity to the child wherein he can express the ideas of their own for solving a particular problem or towards the problem which is prevailing in the society. It gives the students the freedom and a sense of responsibility. You just give the concept to the child stating that I need a skit or a drama on a particular concept, and you just push back. If they need, you just support them. Push back in sense we don't have to go and sit in the background. Just allow them to work. Let them get the idea, let them write the dialogues, let them select the characters, and let them try to present. Well, if you give a kind of a freedom to the child, definitely the expected outcomes will also be a very sweet ones. So we need to give the opportunity to the child to perform on their own. It will help them to overcome the stage fear. A kind of an confidence will be built upon in the child if they come on to the stage and perform. Initially, as you all know, we all will be little nervous when we come on the stage. But as they get used to with the stage, as they get involved into the character, they will be very free. and it will make them overcome the stage fear, and in future they can become an excellent speakers, or it will give an opportunity for them to express their feelings freely. It will also improve the vocabulary of the child, because while writing the dialogues and while delivering it, they will be searching for some new words. So definitely the words which can be used in the public. So it will also help them to improve the vocabulary on their own. Next comes the characteristic of a drama. That means how the drama should be. First one comes the imagination and creativity. This helps to understand the human behavior. Social aspect, drama helps in developing the qualities like increasing the sensitivity towards the existing situation and determining the sort of the world he wishes to live in. It will help the child to create a problem solving attitude among themselves. As the children will be working together on a given situation, it will enable them to communicate the solutions as well. It will also help them to understand that if the problem shared with others, definitely if the proper solution may not come, but different types of ideas will definitely come to them with the help of their friends. So it will also create a kind of a positive attitude among the students, that they are ready to face any kind of a situation in the life, and they will also come to know which are the person who are reliable to help them in the times of need. Last comes the performance. It can be performed anywhere and by anyone and any number of times. The more number of times it is performed, the child will become more confident, and it will spread the ideas which is prevailing in the society and which is there in the minds of the children as well. Now coming back to the types of the drama, there are different types of drama. First one is the exploratory drama. Here the students are allowed to decide the skit, characters and dialogues with very less interference of the teacher. It allows the children to explore the ideas on their own. Here the child will decide the concept on which they want to perform. They will only decide their group of friends who are given a different types of characters. They all will sit and discuss the concept from one point of view, and they will try to find out the ideas, they will try to find out the solutions. Of course, the solution will be of variety, and it will also entertain all the students as well as teachers, and we as a teacher will also get some kind of a knowledge when we give them a chance to do this kind of an exploratory drama. Next comes an illustrative drama. In illustrative drama, it will allow the children to illustrate the real life situations that they are facing every day. A kind of gender discrimination you can see, or the problems the girls are facing while traveling from one place to another. Many other social situations are there which they are already feeling it, or which they are already experiencing it. So it will become a kind of an illustrative drama. So through this drama, they can bring out their practical problems in front of the people. In this kind of dramas, the child will be able to express his or her own opinion, keeping themselves in the character's place. It helps them to empathize themselves in the situation and find the solution to it, thus setting a good example to the audience about the real life situation. Last comes an expressive drama. It helps the child to express their opinion, improve the prevailing conditions, and predict the consequences that may arise. It is just a kind of a prediction. It may happen, it may not happen, but the child will express their ideas that if we try to change the situation, then definitely the changes which they are expecting in the society can be easily predicted with the help of this kind of an expressive dramas. Now let us know about the uses of drama, how the dramas are useful to the students and how it is useful to the teacher. It will allow the child to work in cooperation with others and accept the divergent thinking of others. Usually, it is a human nature that we usually don't get inspired, or we don't get convinced by the ideas of the others. It is only possible if we start working in the groups. Here, well, in this case also, if the child starts working with their friends, definitely he will try to listen to her or his friends, and they will definitely try to come out onto the solution collectively. So it is very much helpful. Next comes, it improves the quality of child's language. and provides an opportunity for a wide variety of oral and written forms. As they will be writing and rewriting and editing the dialogues in the drama, it will help them to improve their vocabulary, and it will also help them to improve their writing skills as well. It allows the child to learn the critical appreciation of himself and others. See, it's not necessary that when we go and perform on the stage, all the people will like the character given to the child. So, here we are making the child strong enough to accept the criticisms that he may face in their real life situations in future as well. So, this is also one of the good usage of drama. It makes the child tolerant towards the opinion of others. When he gets the critical appreciation from the audience, or when he gets some critical remarks from their fellow drama mates, definitely the child will become a tolerant enough, and definitely it will try to bring them, it will help them to bring the changes in their attitude and behavior, and it will try to help them to perform in a much better way in the next performances. Coming to the last benefit of the drama is, it allows the child to view the situation from different perspective and raise the awareness towards the complexity involved. For some people, the ideas will be varying. So, here the child will develop a positive attitude towards the problems, because everyone will have a different kind of a perspective to look towards the problems which are prevailing in the society. Here it will give the child an opportunity to present their ideas, how he is looking at the problem from his own point of view, and how his ideas will change the society, how the people has to be made aware about the problems which are prevailing about, and how it will help the people to change their own mentality. After learning about the types of the dramas and the usage of the drama, let us learn about the advantages of the drama. It gives an opportunity for the students to go beyond the tight framework of the curriculum. It is every time not necessary that we have to teach the child using the textbook, blackboard and a chalk stick. Sometimes we can allow the child to explore the concept on their own, and it will help them to bring out the problems and to learn the concept also on their own. It gives the freedom to the child to work with the responsibility. Here, if you give the child the whole responsibility of performing the skit, and when he is discussing it with her other friends, and the ideas which are coming out, it will help the child makes himself or herself feel responsible that how they have to perform it, so that it is positively received by the audience. It helps the child to become tolerant while working with others. It will also help the child to accept others' ideas and how to convince others about his or her own ideas as well. It helps the child to feel confident that they know more about the situation, and if suppose they come across such kind of a situation in their real life, how do they have to react and how they can come out of it as well. It helps the child to understand that real world is entirely different from the imaginary world. It gives a platform for the students to enrich their own experiences. It helps the child to understand the abstract concepts in a very easy manner. Coming to the next item of our social studies kit, it is all about the charts, tables, graphs and diagrams. Charts, tables, graphs and diagrams are powerful learning devices. Graphic images cultivates problem solving skill, and it helps them in building the information. The graph shown on the charts explain the changes that are taking place on the regular intervals. Let us first begin with a graph. Graph is a kind of a picture that makes the fact easily understand. There are several types of graphs that is used in geography, such as bar graphs, line graphs, pictographs and circle graphs, which we call them as a pie charts. Now let us explain me about each and every type of a graph in detail. Let us start with the bar graph. The bar graph shows comparison because it gives two kinds of information that stands for a fact or set of facts which plays alongside each other. We can take an example of a literacy chart which is given in standard 6 of Telangana State Social Studies textbook. It is showing the literacy rate among the girls and boys over the past few years. So it will help them to understand how many girls are literate, how many boys are literate. It usually shows that the boys are having the more literacy rate when compared to that of the girls. It will help the child to analyze the situation that is prevailing around, and it will also help the child to understand why the literacy rate of girls are lesser when compared to that of the boys. Next comes the line graphs. The line graphs tell stories, and it's considered the best kind for showing the change in something over a stretch of time. A sharper rise in the line stands for greater changes. The example for this one we can take from the 8th standard textbook of Telangana state, wherein we are having a lesson called temperature. In the temperature lesson, there are the charts which is showing the temperature of different places, and it is even showing the temperature that is changing over the months in a particular place. So these line charts will help us to know that the changes, how it is taking place by line going up or down. Next comes the pictograph. Pictograph is a chart that uses pictures to stand for fixed amount of selected things. Here we can take an example of the books which are distributed, or the rice or the food grains which is distributed for the midday meals. Using the pictograph, we can easily make the pictures of it, and it will easily help the child to understand the changes that are taking place over the time. Last comes the pie chart. The pie graph or a pie chart makes it very easy to see how one part is compared with that of the other parts. Here one circle graph will be given. It will be given a different pictures and the percentage is given, and the data related to the percentage will be mentioned in the box, or maybe it is mentioned in the picture itself. So seeing that picture, the child will able to analyze what are the problems, or what are the things that are taking place over the years, what are the percentages, is it going higher or it is going down, it is becoming lower, using these pie charts. Now let us learn about how these charts are useful to us, how the pie charts are useful to us. First one, it will read the outside of the chart, that is the literal level of the chart. Next, it will give the meanings of the chart, that is interpretative level, wherein the child, seeing the different colors used in the pie charts, they will be able to interpret the ideas that they are getting with the help of the chart, and sometimes it will give them the application skills also, that they will go beyond the chart. That is how a certain percentage which is lesser can be made bigger one, or how a certain percentage which is a lesser one can be made a bigger one. Next comes the tables. Let us see how these tables are useful in teaching the social studies. Tables are the visual displays of numeral or non-numeral data arranged in vertical columns so that the data may be emphasized, compared or contrast. Tables can be break up to the monotony of the printed word and give alternative ways to obtain the information. Related to this, we have one particular academic standard involved while teaching social studies. The academic standard itself is named as an information skill. In this particular skill, the child has to be given an information in a paragraph way, and the teacher has to give a table below. The child has to read the paragraph, and the relevant information has to be filled in the table which is given below. Sometimes it will be a vice versa. A table will be given by a teacher. The child has to read the table, they have to make the paragraph related to the table, and they have to write the paragraph related to the table, and the child will be able, it will help the child to improve their writing skills. Next comes the maps. Wall maps are preferable, and also a map is provided to a group of 5 children, and they will be asked to locate the place. Map represent the real world on a much smaller scale. They help you to travel from one location to another. They help you to organize an information. They help you to figure out where you are and how to get where you want to go. There are many types of maps which is available in our atlas, and it can be used for the practice as well. Now let us learn about the characteristics of map. Some maps may contain more than the just basic information, but any map should contain the following 5 elements. The first among the map is the title. The title of the map should tell the basic information about the map, such as the area represented. The map could be anything, but the title is going to tell you the basic information about the map and the basic area represented by that map. The next element is the legend, which is also known as the key. it explains what the symbols that are used in a particular map represents, such as symbols for major landmarks like capital, rivers, boundary line, international boundary line, temples, railway stations, police stations, etc. These are called as conventional symbols, and these conventional symbols are provided by Survey of India. So authentic symbols will make the map more meaningful one, and this will become a part of our legend. The third element in the map is the grid. Most commonly represents the geographical grid system. It is called as a latitude and longitude. Latitude and longitude marks used to precisely locate the specific locations. So on a big map or a map of an actual place, you would often have crisscrossing lines that are going to represent the latitude and longitude of your area in a space. It is a kind of a net which you usually found on a globe or on the map. Next elements is a direction. A compass rose which looks similar to this or some other symbol is usually going to be present on the map to indicate the cardinal directions of north, south, east and west. Sometimes a map is set up the way you see it, but north is usually off to your right instead of being straight ahead. So having the cardinal directions on the map in the form of a compass rose or some other symbol is helpful to make sure that you are reading the map correctly. The last element of any map is going to be a scale. A scale shows the relation between a certain distance on the map and the actual distance in real life. So the 5 elements that you should see on a map and be able to identify are the title, legend, grid, directions and scale. Now let us learn about advantages of a map and how it can be more useful in our social studies kit. The first advantage of a map is it can be folded easily and we can carry it everywhere. Map is small in size, so you can preserve it anywhere, you can keep it anywhere in any counter or in any shelf of your social studies kit. And it gives more detailed information than the globe. It is not easy for us to carry a globe, a medium sized globe in our social studies kit. So these maps will be helpful instead of globe. Now let us learn about the uses of maps. Maps are one of the most important tools for the researchers, cartographers, tourists, students and others, as it can use to examine the entire earth or a specific part of it. In simple words, maps are pictures of the earth's surface. They can be used as a general reference to show landforms, political boundaries, water bodies and the positions of cities. A map gives a minute depiction of a very large space. It acts as a guide in places which we have never visited before. They give us the distance of 2 places, mountains, rivers and railway stations, airports and shapes of the places or destinations. With a map, one does not have to depend on anybody for local directions. It acts as direction finder for a very small price. Now let us learn about the different types of maps. The maps are of different types and the first among them is political map. A political map does not show any topographic features. It instead focuses solely on the state and national boundaries of a place. They also include the locations of cities, both large and small, depicting on a detail of a map. A common type of a political map would be a world atlas or Indian atlas, you can check out. Next comes a physical map. Physical maps often include much of the same data found on a political map, but their primary purpose is to show the landforms like deserts, mountains and plains. Their topography style represents an overall better picture of the local terrain. Physical maps use color connotations to show physical landscape features of a place, and they show rivers and lakes and water bodies with blue color. Mountains and elevation changes are usually shown with different colors and shades to show relief. Normally on physical maps, green shows lower elevations while brown shows higher elevations. The third type of a map is a topographic map. In modern mapping, a topographic map is a type of a map characterized by large-scale detail and quantitative representation of break using counterlines, outline by using different methods. Conventional definition of topographical map required it to show both natural and man-made features. A topographic map is published as a map series which is made up of two or more map sheets that combine to form the whole map. A counter line is a combination of two line segments that connect but do not intersect. These represent elevation on a topographic map. Counterlines on topographic maps are normally spaced at regular intervals to show elevation changes. For example, each line represents a 100-foot, that is 30 meters, elevation change usually. When lines are close together, the terrain is steep, and when lines are little distance, they represent a reasonable terrain. Next comes a climate map. They symbolize aspects of climate. They show the geographic distribution of the monthly or annual average values of climatic variables such as temperature, precipitation, relative humidity, percentage of possible sunshine, isolation cloud cover, wind speed and direction, and atmospheric pressure over regions ranging in area from a tens of square kilometers to global breadth. The climate map minimizes the bias in the data by averaging 30 years data. Thus, it does to take into account one or two periods with abnormally high or low values. Next comes economic map. An economic or resource map shows the specific type of economic activity or natural resources present in an area. This is shown through the use of different symbols or colors depending on what is being shown on the map. Economic map shows branches of various production spheres, and these maps are concerned with the trade, commerce, transport of goods, economic conditions, etc. of a country, a state or a city. These maps also show unemployment, energy resource usage, banking and commerce, and world trade. Last comes the road map. A road map is one of the most widely used map types. These maps show major and minor highways and roads in details, as well as spots like railway station, airports, city locations and points of interest like parks, campgrounds, temples, churches and monuments. Major highways on a road map are generally red and larger than other roads. Minor roads are a lighter color and a narrower line. A road map primarily displays roads and transport links. It also shows political boundaries and labels, making it also a type of political map. The earliest road map was drawn around 1160 BC in ancient Egypt. Next comes an item to be involved in our social kit. It is a small models. Small models like rainwater harvesting, latitudes and longitudes on balls, etc. can also be kept in kit. Inscriptions like Uttaramerur, Prashastis, etc. is the picture of it has to be made in the enlarged copies, laminated and shown to the students to have an experience of the inscriptions. Why was it written, where was it written and how was it written should also be mentioned for the references of the children. Small tape records and the videos like Bharat Ek Khoj or Discovery of India in English, Samvidhan, etc. should be shown in the schools to help the children bounce back to those times and experience it. Types of bills to be shown to the students to make their understanding of the taxes, why it is levied by the government, what is the use, how are we involved into it, why should we know about the tax, how is it going to affect the economy of the country, etc. will be easily understood by the child. So, it is necessary that we should have the pictures of these bills in our social studies kit. Last but not least, let us learn about the advantages of the social science kits. The first advantage of the social science kit, it is a low cost one. The kit is economical as the things required can be brought at a very nominal prices and it can be changed and replaced whenever it is required. The next advantage of the kit is it is an indigenous resource. Indigenous means which occurring naturally, so the resources required in the kit can be gathered easily from the surroundings or from the people available around. The next advantage is easy replacement of the items. most of the items can be replaced easily with the changes, or if there are any damages, you can change it whenever you want to change. Another advantage is it is portable. Portable in sense we can carry it wherever we like and whenever we like. It is handy and it can be taken from one place to another place easily. Next is it is an economical one. If it is planned in a systematic way, the experiment can be done in a lesser time, making the complex concept very easily understandable to the students. Next comes the consolidation. The advantage of consolidation is all the material required to teach the concept is available in one kit. We don't have to go around, we don't have to search for it. Gather all the material, keep it in the kit, carry wherever you want to and show it to the students as per your convenience and as per the readiness of the child. Next comes the economy of the consumption. The consumption of the items are as per the requirements and most of the items are reusable and we don't need to buy new things every time until and unless there is a change. Last but not the least, it is a very motivating to the teacher. It motivates and inspires the teachers to get some new ideas and to make his or her teaching interesting and rewarding. These educational resources provide instructors with innovative material, lesson plans, case studies, assignment based on environmental statistics. Resources have been developed for educators and the elementary, high school and post-secondary levels. These educational resources provide instructors with innovative materials, lesson plans and case study, assignments based on environmental statistics. Resources have been developed for educators and the elementary, high school and the post-secondary levels. Our social sciences printable lessons and quiz will enhance curriculum in all areas of study. Using the literature guides, maps and technology resources will help the teacher to make the students learn easily about geography, government, diversity, family and religion. We find biographies of some famous and eminent personalities as well, and it will inspire the children to become like them, to become a successful like them in their own future. It will use the primary resources, literary and historical texts, simulations and readers' theatres, scripts found in products from teacher created material to deepen students' content knowledge and build critical thinking skills among the students. Many museums, libraries and historical societies offer educator boxes or materials filled with replicated artifacts designed to enhance your social study curriculum. Many museums, libraries and historical societies offer educators boxes or materials filled with replicated artifacts designed to enhance your social studies curriculum. Generally, kits are based on an area's local history and can be brought or loaned out like a library book. For example, the Salarjung Museum of History lends history in a box kits that are related to the history. These type of kits can be really effective tools in the classroom because students get examined and experience artifacts firsthand rather than just seeing them in photographs or movies. Some of the kits have included replicated, revolutionary and war uniforms, toys that children played during olden times and tools that were used by various types of people. The teacher's interest, enthusiasm, resources and competency helps them to create a very rich, unique and helpful social science kit. The teacher can include any article, document, paintings, reports, pamphlets, brochures, handouts, bills which he or she finds it useful for their teaching. So here I have ended my session about the social science kit. Finally, I would like to conclude with a quote given by William Arthur Ward. According to him, the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, and the great teacher inspires. Now it is in your hand to decide to become a mediocre teacher, good teacher, superior teacher or a great teacher. Thank you one and all and wish you all a very happy and a successful teaching career.